Hey, good afternoon. Just thought I'd stop by and get down here by the table and see how you're doing with A. Last time we looked at the key of A, and I want to do a little bit more with it today. This is the lesson number 3, so go get your guitar. If it's not right there with you, it should be right there with you. And let's look at some more things about A and about chords in general, and about how things work with your guitar. I got my pick. I may put it down in a few minutes. I don't normally use a flat pick like this. I'm teaching you with a flat pick. I use my fingers, and maybe after a while we'll get on to how to use your fingers a little bit more. But for right now, you better stay with the pick. I think that's best in the beginning. So last time we did A, and here's your E. And I think that's getting fairly close to standard pitch. I don't know if we were in standard pitch last time, but I put some new strings on, and I think I'm close to it now. But we looked at A made with 3 fingers. And I'm not going to go through this again, because if you didn't see it, go back and look at lesson 2, and it'll show you how to do this. But we either used those 3 fingers, or we barred the same 3 strings with 1 finger and another on top. And we had to make sure that it wasn't hitting on the bottom here, so we didn't get a thump sound. And then we looked at D, and we looked at E, and we looked at A. Now there's all kinds of variations on those 3 chords. There's minors and 7ths and 6ths and 9ths and chords. Well, they're kind of complicated, but after you do a chord and you know all the variations on that chord, you pretty much know a lot about chords, because they're all mostly the same. If you learn how to do lots of things in A, you'll be able to do lots of things in other chords easier, okay? Now, I didn't show you, I don't think I showed you this last time, but if you do this bar without the pressure on the top, the 3 strings, and it doesn't matter this time if you're hitting this one, the first string. If you'll come up here with your little finger and put it on the 5th fret, that is also an A. It's a major A. It's a different kind of structure, but it's the same A as this, same A as this. But okay, put your finger up here. Now the neat thing about this is the A note up here in the 5th position, and you need to learn. I'm not going to have you learn all of the strings, but learn this first string, if you will, by the next time. You have open E. It's E when it's open, and then it becomes F, and then it becomes F sharp, and then it becomes G, then it becomes A flat, then it becomes A, then it becomes B flat, B, C, D flat, D, E flat, and then what happens? We repeat E. It's an octave apart, but they're both E's. Now, it's really important that you know what all of those notes are up and down this first string, the C string. And the reason is, when you make this A, it's an A because this little finger is on the A position. That is A. Anywhere you go on the neck with this little finger and make this type of a chord, this note will tell you the name of the chord. If we go up here and put it on the C, in the C position, and hit those same 4 strings, it's a C. If we go up here all the way to the E, with the same structure, that's an E. And how do we know? Open E. So, A. If we go up, what is that? That's A sharp. If we go up, it's B. If we go up, it's C, and so forth. All the same structure. Well, it looks like an L, doesn't it? Okay? That's an A. Now, something else you can do from here, and with all those other positions, if you come back with your middle finger on the 3rd fret, you'll get an A7th. That's an A7th note. So you have the A major note and then the 7th. There's other ways to make that 7th. This is a 7th also with the A. It sounds different. It's made different. Here we've got the middle finger on the 4th string on the 2nd fret, and we've got the next to the pinky finger on the 2nd fret on the 2nd string. And that's also an A7. So that's an A7. This is an A7. But remember, as you go up, we start with A. We got A sharp, B, C, D flat or C sharp, D, and so forth all the way up to E. And further, the strings start repeating themselves. This becomes F again, F or G flat, F sharp, G, and so forth all the way up. Now if you have electric guitar, this will be cut away here and you'll be able to get higher on the neck. So, now we learned D last time, we learned D 7th. If you take this pyramid structure and turn it over like that, to where the point's on the top, that becomes a D7th. And then we learned an E7th. This is the E position. If you pick up your 3rd finger, remember your fingers are 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you pick up your 3rd finger, that's an A7th. Or keep it on and hit the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. That's also an E7th. And guess what? If you were making the E up here and you came back here, what would that be? That would be an E7th. Okay? You get different sounds. It's not always the same sound, but it's always the same chord, and it serves the same function. So, all kinds of things you can do. Now I'm going to show you one more way to get an A, and there's more than one more way. Believe me, there's lots more ways. But here is one more way, and this is probably the position you'll use more often to get chords than any other position. So it's very important you learn how to do this. But take finger number 1, go to the 5th fret, which is the A fret. Okay? Go to the 5th fret and cover, this time you're going to cover 2 strings. You're going to cover the 1st string or the E, and you're going to cover the 2nd string or the B on the 5th fret. Both on the 5th fret. Now you're going to take your 2nd finger and put it 1 fret ahead, or the 6th fret, on the 3rd string. And you're going to take your 3rd finger and put it 1 fret ahead on the 7th fret. And you're not going to cover, in this case, you're not going to cover the E string, or for the moment, you're not going to cover the 6th string or the E string. Now that is an A, and that's the A that you're going to do business with. Okay? Learn how to do it. And I'm going to add one more touch to it, and I'm going to teach you to play my way, or the way of a lot of people. Not my way, I didn't invent it, but there's several ways to skin a cat. I use my thumb over the top. I come up and hit the 5th fret E string with my thumb. And the reason I do that is I play fingerstyle guitar, and that's about the only way you can do it, because you got to be able to move your thumb around. Okay? The other way is called a bar chord, and these are hard to do, and especially if you got a small hand, or especially if you're just beginning. But it is made like this. And what you're doing, you're covering the 6th string. Really, all this work here for the 1st string, 2nd string, and the 6th string. Then you have to use these 3 fingers. So I'm not going to teach you bar chords. That is a bar chord A. And if you want to learn bar chords, B-A-R-R-E, bar chords, any book, any chord book will have them in it. But let's learn, for this particular series of lessons, to make our A like this, with these 3 fingers, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And if I wanted to, I could play. And I wouldn't even have to hit the 5th string. I wouldn't have to cover the 5th string or the 6th. Or I can cover this 5th. By the way, your finger may not go back all the way like that. Yours may just go back like this. Mine goes back all the way because I'm double jointed. You may be too. Some of us are. Okay? So, cover it up like that. Don't cover it up either way. It's an A. And guess what? If you learn what these positions are, if you learn that this is G and you form that chord here, you'll make a G chord. Or you'll come up here and you make a C. Or you go down here and you make an F. Or you'll go here and make a D. Now, the difference is, when you go to other positions, there's one more little catch. You're going to take this third finger, you raise it up here to the 5th string, and then you're going to use your little finger and put under it on the 7th fret, on the 4th string. Now you'll be able, you got all 6 strings covered. You'll be able to go down here and make a G. You'll be able to go up here and make a C. You'll be able to go here and make a B flat or an A sharp. That's a B flat. Or you'll come down here, make an F. Or if your neck is cut away enough, mine isn't, but you'll come up here and make an E. So E, F, G flat, F sharp, G, A flat, A, B flat, B. Look on the internet and find a picture of this first string and the names of the different frets. The same is true of all the other strings. They're not the same name, but they work in exactly the same way. If you go to the B string, that'd be the same as the B note on the first string. And so the next fret would be the same. This would become a C. This would become a C. But for right now, unless you're learning to read music or need to know the names of the notes on all positions, I wouldn't worry about that so much. But you need to know here, 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 up to 12, E. Now, guess what? Same thing on 6. What you learn on 1 is true also on 6. Because it's the same note, an octave lower. So you have F, G flat, or F sharp, G, A flat, A, and so on, just like you do down here. If you could play both of them at the same time, you can hear their same. This is like a bass and a guitar playing together, doesn't it? Okay? Now, you can make a little song, okay? You've learned how to make a little song. Let's go. Now the new A. See, now you're making music. Somebody says, play something for me. You can play what I just played. What was it? I don't have the slightest idea, but it was just chords played together. So you start off with this new A, and hit the open A string, or the 5th string, and the open E string. You hit the A first, strum. You hit the E, strum, A, strum, E, strum, A, strum. Instead of just a straight down motion with a pick, you can do it back and forth. Then go down and get the 7. Then go to the D and invert the pyramid. Okay, or you can go. You might have noticed there that I'm lifting my finger off the strings completely occasionally just for a little color, and when I do, I don't hit the strings open, I muffle them. So I go. Okay, alrighty, let me show you one more thing in A. This is the Chuck Berry thing. This is what I learned in, oh Lord, 8th grade, maybe 9th grade. One of the most important things I ever learned, and one of the simplest things that you'll ever learn. But if you're playing in the key of A, and we're just going to start off by looking at these top 3 strings, the D string, the A string, and the E string. If you'll take your first finger, put it on the 2nd fret, okay? That's all we're worried about, one note. your